Hi everyone, my name is Katy, and thank you for joining me for another reading journal video. Today we will be flipping through the first 6 months of my 2024 reading journal, so let's get started. So I am currently using a Notebook Therapy A5 journal. You can see it's gotten a little bit chunked up so far. This is my really simple cover page. And then I have my yearly cover page that I have this adorable sticker and washi tape on. This sticker is from Maragona Suli Art, and the washi tape is from Notebook Therapy. You flip that yearly cover page over, and I have my yearly bookshelf. This is a place for me to track all of the different books that I've read all year. I believe there are 52 slots on this page, so we'll see. Hopefully I should be able to fill them all up. And the color of the book corresponds with the potion bottle here on the bottom shelf. Then flipping forward, we have my Zodiac favorite spread. This is basically like a monthly favorites that other people do, but I'm extra, so mine are based on the Zodiac seasons. I think The Serpent and the Wings of Night has been my favorite book so far that I read in the Aries season, but I keep thinking about that Taurus book, A Fate Inked in Blood, so both of those were super high on my list so far. And then moving on, we have a series of different trackers that I'm using. This first one is for my rereads. I honestly haven't done any of these yet, but that's okay. The second one here is for different series that I'm in the middle of. And again, these stickers are by Maragona Suli Art, and the washi tape is from Notebook Therapy. Moving on, we have my physical TBR, which I've gotten a couple done, but of course, there are still more. And then I have my bingo, which I am actually needing to fill in a few of these because I have completed a couple of them. And then my anticipated releases, which I also need to update. So this is just showing me that I need to get in here and update it a little bit more thoroughly. The next page is my 2024 stats at a glance. I love how this page looks with the different little calendars, and February and March were definitely my best reading months so far. I hope to have some more really good reading months the rest of the year. I love this combination of washi tapes from Notebook Therapy. Moving on, we have more trackers. This one is kind of a Halloween witch vibe with these different Halloween witch stickers, and I absolutely love how it looks. The first tracker is for my book mail, where I track the different packages that I should be expecting. I have a few different book boxes that I'm subscribed to, as well as different pre-orders from Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, and all kinds of different places. And then flipping the page, I have my Kindle Unlimited TBR, which I've gotten a few done. However, I did just cancel my Kindle Unlimited subscription for the time being because I wasn't really using it. So this page is a little bit null and void at the moment, but that's okay. The next page is to track my ARCs, and don't look at this, I'm so embarrassed. I have so many to read that I haven't done. So yeah, let's just keep going. Alright, the next page is for my Year of Adventure, or my Year in Eldia, that is created by Book Roast as part of the Magical Readathon challenge. So I have the little Year of Adventure there on the left side, and my corresponding books for each of the book prompts on the right side. I also love how this page turned out. These stickers with the Autumn Witch and the little dragons are absolutely adorable, and I love how they look paired with this dragon washi tape. So we will now get into my first monthly spread. So flipping the page, we have January, and I love how this spread looks with this adorable moon girl with the little kitty cats. It is so cute paired with the bookish pink and blue washi tape. All of this is by Marigona Suli Art. You can tell I am a huge fan of her art. Then flipping the page, we get into my first set of book reviews. This is what I do for every book that I read. I write a couple sentences just to get my thoughts recorded initially once I finish the book. I also track the star rating, if it's part of a series, and the way that I read the book, so ebook, audiobook, or physical, as well as if I own the book or borrowed the book from the library or Kindle Unlimited, Hoopla, whatever it may be. In January, I read a good amount of books, a good variety, at least for my standards. I started with a little rom-com. I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I liked a lot. And then The Kiss of the Selkie, which I actually liked a lot more than I expected to. It's a kind of Little Mermaid retelling with the Fae world, and it's part of this larger retelling series that I'm really into. And I think it's probably my favorite one so far. I read Sky in the Deep, which was an alright Viking YA fantasy. And then I read A Fragile Enchantment, which I was really looking forward to, and it was alright, it was good, but it just left a little bit to be desired because I was so excited for it. And I also started the Shatter Me series, which is a very 2010s dystopian fantasy series, but it's a lot of fun. It's really easy to get through. Then flipping the page, I also read These Hollow Vows, which was another Fae romance, YA romance, and it was alright. And then I also read the second book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy, and I really loved it. On this page, I also included a little quote from The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and another kitty sticker. And of course, I have the first of my book journal pages. So when I like a book a lot, or I have a lot to say, or I just am inspired to create a spread for it, I will do either a 1-page or 2-page spread. So this first one is for A Fragile Enchantment. I'm using stickers from Mushyworks, and I'm using washi tapes from Simply Gilded. And this one just looks so beautiful and fantastical and really matches the vibe of the book, which is about a seamstress for this royal family in a fantasy fairy tale type world. The next spread was for Kiss of the Selkie by Tessania Odette, and again this was a Little Mermaid type retelling, but really twists it on its head, and I really liked it. There were conversations about religion in this, which I didn't expect, but I really love in my fantasy. And the stationery that I used in this one is some of my favorite. I used a couple different washi tapes, one from Simply Gilded and the other from Notebook Therapy with the cherry blossoms. I love how pretty and pink this looks, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Another of my favorite spreads so far this year was also done in January, and that is this one for Children of Fallen Gods, the second book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. I just love the vibes, these Mushyworks Maiden stickers, and the Notebook Therapy washi tape. It all just blends together so beautifully and moody and really fits my feelings around this book. Lots of emotions and lots of moodiness, darkness, and I just really love it. Lots of girl power. So yeah, totally love this one. Now moving on to February, I went with a Valentine's Day kind of theme using these Valentine's Day witch stickers from Marigona Suli and this bookshelf kind of washi tape from Simply Gilded. This looks so cute and festive. I love pink and red together, so I really love how this one turned out. Now onto my book reviews. I read A Taste of Poison, so another one of those fairy tale retellings, this time a Snow White retelling, but I didn't like it as much, unfortunately. And then I read Good Omens. I read the worst book that I've read so far this year, which was The Friend Zone. That had a trope that I really hate. And then I read 3 more of the Shatter Me books. And then I read another one of my top anticipated releases, which was Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and her first book that was not a STEM romance. And it was pretty good. It was not something I usually read. It was a little bit like Omega-versy. And like I said, I don't really read that, but it was vampires and werewolves, and I had fun with it. Then I read another anticipated release that I got an ARC for, and that was Sunbringer, which was the second book after God Killer, which I also loved last year. Sunbringer was a totally satisfying and epic follow-up to God Killer, and I am so excited for the finale book in that series. It is so good. I highly recommend if you like high fantasy. And then I read Dune, which, how do you even talk about it? I feel like a lot of people know, but it reads like a biblical epic. It's pretty slow and hard to get into, but it's still interesting to me. I love, again, religion in my fantasy, and that is a huge part of Dune, as well as environmentalism, colonialism, all different kinds of aspects to the story. So yes, I did enjoy Dune for sure. Then moving on to my book spreads. The first one is for A Taste of Poison. So again, that Snow White retelling. And again, I love how this turned out. It's so sweet. And you immediately see Snow White in the bottom left-hand corner. Those stickers are again from Mushyworks, washi tapes by Notebook Therapy, and Simply Gilded. I love making spreads for fairy tale retellings because I can usually find some pretty awesome stickers for them. So yes, I really like how this one turned out. And then my next spread is for Sunbringer, and in this world there are different gods that manifest as physical beings, and a lot of them kind of look like these weird hybrid animals. So I thought that these different magical creature stickers from Mushyworks were perfect for that. I love the different characters in these books. They're very strong, very compelling and interesting. And again, I'm so excited for that third book. I love the quote that I chose for this page. People like me don't change the world, we just survive it. So that is Sunbringer. The next book spread is for Good Omens, and I used a combination of witchy Halloween, pink and black stickers from Maragona Sully Art, as well as matching washi tapes, and I think it looks so good. Then the only spread that hasn't been featured on my YouTube channel so far in a video is this one that I'm about to show you, which is a combination of different book cover trackers to just pay attention and give some space for my different special editions and that kind of physical book that I have on my shelf. This first page is for my book box backlist, and these are different books that I've gotten as special editions that I have yet to read that have been sitting on my shelves. I highlight around the book once I've read it in a light pink marker, so as you can see, I still have a lot of work to do. The next page is for some of my physical priorities, so books that are on my shelf again that are just regular editions this time that I really want to read. I struggle a lot with figuring out what I want to read because I also don't like TBRs, so I don't know, I'm just trying to do different things to help myself get through my long TBR. And then this last page of trackers is for the new additions that I've added to my bookshelf in 2024 through different book box subscriptions, and I have room to finish out the year. And the stationery in these spreads is all from Notebook Therapy as well. And then we move into March. I love how my March cover page looks because sheep are my favorite animal. And I absolutely love this Ireland sheep washi tape from Simply Gilded, as well as her sheep stickers that I paired with this little bookish lady from Maragona Sully Art. This was another great month of reading, so getting into the book reviews, I read Well Met, which I was very excited for, but unfortunately did not love. It's about love at a Renaissance festival, basically, but I just had issues with the pacing and some of the decisions that the characters made. And then I started the Throne of Glass series this month, and I actually read the first 3 books of that series, and I enjoyed them all. I didn't love them by any means, but they were a lot of fun. I reread The Stolen Heir by Holly Black to prepare for the release of The Prisoner's Throne, which I ended up really loving. That was a great duology for me and set up more books in the future in that world with those characters, so I'm super excited for that. I read Radiance, which was recommended highly to me, but unfortunately I just didn't click with. And then moving on to the next page, I started the Blood and Ash series, and I had fun with it. It wasn't amazing by any means, but definitely fun, turn your brain off, vampire fantasy, so that was fun. At least the first book. I haven't continued it since. And I read the second Regency fairy tale book, which was 10,000 Stitches, and I liked it a lot. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I really liked it. And my first spread of this month is also for 10,000 Stitches, so this was a Cinderella retelling in this fairy world of Regency and propriety, and it was really cute. I really liked the beginning specifically, and this spread turned out amazing. I love how these Cinderella-esque stickers from Artimation go with this bluish kind of bookshelf washi tape from Simply Gilded. The vibes are immaculate. It matches the book cover. It's just like chef's kiss to me. And then I did a double spread for The Stolen Heir and The Prisoner's Throne, and I love this kind of purpley woods kind of vibe that I gave it, because in The Prisoner's Throne and the end of The Stolen Heir, you really feel cold and you're in this forest, and I feel like this kind of evokes that feeling, at least to me when I look at it. And I have 2 different really amazing fan arts included in this spread that I love as well. This shade of purple is like my favorite color, so yeah, I just really like this one. And then I did a spread for those first 3 books of the Throne of Glass series, and I think this turned out really pretty. Again, it kind of feels cold when I look at it, which this series wasn't cold, at least not yet. I don't know if it turns cold, but I really love this washi tape. It's actually sparkly and it's got these mountains and dragons on it. And then again, this amazing character art from Coralie Renards. I really love this art. And moving into April, we have my cover page, and I went with a cherry blossom vibe for this month. I'm using one of my favorite Notebook Therapy washi tapes and pairing it with this adorable bookish witch from Maragona Sully Art. This month was also the first semester, or the spring equinox, of the Magical Readathon challenge, so the first spreads that I have in April are for that Magical Readathon, and I did a whole video on these. So I'm using, again, amazing pink and black witchy Halloween stickers and washi tapes from Maragona Sully Art, as always. And I think that these turned out really cute. The class that I did was the Beastmaster, and my character is over there on the left with a little pit crew. And the way this works is you have a syllabus with different classes that you have to take, and each of those classes equates to a book prompt. And then these bookshelves over here are for the books that I've chosen for those different prompts. And I just think that this looks really nice. I'm a very visual person, so having it all laid out like this was very helpful. And then this is the kind of side quest that went along with this Equinox for one of my classes, but as you can see, I did not finish it yet. I am giving myself through the end of the year to finish these different book prompts. And when I do, I will put them on these shelves. Now into the book reviews. So this month I read 5 books and they were all pretty good. So I started The Serpent and the Wings of Night, so the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and oh my god, fell in love, like new favorite book. Like, yeah, I really, really, really liked it. And then I also read Powerless, which I didn't like as much. It's like a YA kind of Hunger Games-ish series, but with magic, I guess. It was alright. And then I read A Fate Inked in Blood, and I cannot stop thinking about this Viking romantasy, and I may bump it up to 5 stars because I'm still thinking about it and it's August. Then I read The Hurricane Wars, which actually started as a Star Wars fan fiction. And I also read One Dark Window. And again, I added a quote to this page to fill in the empty space. And then I tried something new this month by doing single page book spreads that are on 2 pages next to each other. So this first one is for The Hurricane Wars, and I love how these colors came together with the different washi tapes. Most of these are from Simply Gilded, and the sticker from Mushy Works. I think it all works really well together. It gives the vibe of the story and the cover art, and I just really love these colors together. So this was a sci fantasy inspired by Star Wars, set in a South Asian inspired world. And the magic system was really interesting because it had that sci fantasy vibe to it. And of course the romance was Raylo, so it was really good. And I'm excited for the next book in this series to come out. Then the next spread is for One Dark Window, which is kind of a gothic fantasy. It has, again, really interesting magic system using these cards, and there's a curse going on, and you're following one girl who is connected to it all in some way. And I really like how this spread turned out. It's very moody and dark, and I love the colors of it. So yeah, both of these spreads I ended up really liking. And this book was actually recommended to me by my mom, so shout out Mom. And the next spread is for A Fate Inked in Blood, and again, I love how this one turned out with the night sky washi tape and these stickers from Mushy Works. This again is a Viking romantasy that I can't get out of my head and that I'm just thinking about all the time because I'm really excited for the next book and to see where it goes. We're following this Viking woman who's in a very unfortunate marriage, but is destined for greatness and destined for more, and ends up going on the path to that destiny and meeting a very compelling man. I'll just say that much. I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a lot going on with gods and destiny and fate, and I really like all of those themes. So yes, definitely love this one and definitely recommend it if you like romantasy at all. And then one of my other all-time favorite book spreads that I've ever done is this one for The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I love everything about it. These stickers by Marigona Sully art with the vampiric kind of aspects in this light purple and orange color scheme, mixed with these beautiful purpley washi tapes from Notebook Therapy. It's perfect, and I love it, and I love this book, and I love the characters. So seeing this just makes me super, super happy. And this is a vampire romantasy, I guess. It's pretty heavy on the fantasy, and then it gets into the romance, and God, I really like it. There's trials, there are complex characters, complicated relationships, angst, backstory, really dark subject matter that the characters go through, and it's just so good. So yes, this one is definitely one of my favorites, potentially could be my favorite read of the whole year. And then we move into May, which is my birth month, and it is when I began slumping, I guess. I stopped reading as much, I wasn't as excited to read, which is totally fine and normal. But this cover page looks absolutely amazing. I love this aesthetic with the light purples and the light pinks, and all of the different pretty springy pastels, the coffee, the tea, the little kitty, the owl. It's one of my favorites so far. And then we get into my book reviews, so there are only 3 for this month. I read an arc of A Rivalry of Hearts, but I ended up not loving it because it was a bit too much of a rom-com for me, when I was really hoping for more of like fantasy romance, but that's all right. And then the next book was A Dance with the Fae Prince, which is the second Married to Magic book. These are different arranged marriage trope books following different kinds of men, and this one was a Fae Prince. And it was alright. It wasn't anything to write home about, but enjoyable-ish. And then I read All Systems Red, which is a novella of a series of novellas called The Murderbot Diaries. And it follows this cyborg who is supposed to be programmed to kill and protect people who really could not care less and would rather watch movies and TV and listen to music and consume art. And it has a lot of good commentary on what it really means to be human, so I did enjoy that. Now this next page, because I didn't have any book spreads that I wanted to do this month, I just did a quote page, and I think it looks really nice. It's really pretty and springy, and it matches kind of the cover page. And this quote was from A Fragile Enchantment, which I read earlier in the year. And then moving into June, I am again using the pink and blue color scheme that I used in January, but this time with this absolutely beautiful mermaid moon lady who I really, really love the art of. And I only read 2 books this month, and they are in the same series, but they were both really good, so I still count this as a good reading month. So the 2 books that I read this month were both in that Crowns of Nyaxia series, so I filled my empty space with a quote from The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which was book 1 in the series. And then I did spreads for each of the books that I read this month. So the first book was 6 Scorched Roses, and this spread looks incredible. It totally matches the vibe of the cover and of the story. This again is a vampire fantasy romance, and it's actually a novella that goes between the first and second book in the Crowns of Nyaxia first duology. And even though it's like really short, I still think it was a great story, a great romance. I loved the way it was structured. And overall, I just really, really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I read it between the first and the second book because these characters showed up in the second book. And this spread just looks incredible with the Notebook Therapy washi tape. I really, really love that washi tape a lot. I've used it a lot so far this year. And these vampire ladies look so adorable. The vibes of the sticker sheet match the series perfectly for sure. And the next spread that I read and had a spread for was The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So this is the second Crowns of Nyaxia book. It is the end of the first duology because if you didn't know, this is a series of 3 separate duologies. And the first book of the next duology comes out soon, and I am so excited for it. But anyway, this spread features some different night sky washi tapes, and then these different stickers from Mushyworks. And then finally, we are at my July cover page, which is the most recent cover page that I've shown on the channel, and the end of the first 6 months in my journal. I think that this cover page looks super summery and cute, and I really, really love these summer witchy stickers for sure, and how I matched them with these stacked washi tapes. But that is the end of the first 6 months in my reading journal for 2024. I will continue to post the monthly updates in my reading journal, and I will have the playlist of all of the ones so far linked down below so you can go back and watch any of the ones you missed. Of course, I will also post a final flip through at the end of this year, which honestly is going to be here before we know it, which is just wild how fast this year is going. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this one. I love sharing my reading journal with you, and I really appreciate all of the support that you've given me on the channel on these videos. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below, and if you'd like to see more from me, be sure to hit subscribe. I hope that you and yours are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you again next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye!